Hi guys! So I'm taking a break from studying right now and I wanted to make a video about all my piercings, and I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, but I was not done getting all my piercings. So I'm gonna rate the pain of them for me. Keep in mind pain varies for different people. I consider myself to have a high pain tolerance, so yeah, you know. It's a piercing, it's gonna hurt just like a tattoo. So anyway, let's just get on into this video. The first piercings I ever got were my first, my lobe. I got those done when I was 4 years old, so I was really young. My sister would have been 2. Holy. At that age, yes, it hurt. We screamed, we cried. The whole mall probably heard us because we got it done at Claire's in the mall. And of course these guns there, so I don't really remember my pain back then because that was probably the first time I ever felt pain. I'm gonna rate that like an 8. And I actually took those piercings out probably a year or less after I got them because nobody else in my class had them and I felt weird and I didn't like them at all. So I took them out and my holes grew in and I got them re-pierced in grade 8, same hole. So when I got them pierced when I was little, they healed perfectly fine. I never got any infections. My sister, on the other hand, got a lot of infections. So healing for when I got them pierced the second time was perfectly fine. I had no issues with it. I just used rubbing alcohol to clean my piercings. The second time I got it pierced, my mom's friend pierced it for us. We didn't go to Claire's. My mom's friend is a hairdresser, and most hairdressers around where I am in Canada, they also pierce ears for some reason. I don't even know. It's something to do with the program at college. When I got my first one re-pierced the second time, it didn't really hurt at all. Again, that was a few years ago and I can't exactly remember, but I definitely remember it hurting a lot less than when I got it done when I was little. So I would probably rate it like a 4. So don't pierce your kids when they're little because it hurts then and it hurts when you're older, but they can consent when they're older. And you know what? In my case, it hurt a lot less. Yeah, healed perfectly fine. She also used a gun and she used the old metal gun. No problem there. I kind of forget when I got the second lobe one done. I got those on both sides too. I'm gonna say grade 9 or 10. And my mom's friend did those ones too with the gun. Getting closer to the cartilage, a little bit scary. And those ones healed not so good. I'm gonna rate that like a 6. And part of that's because I had a terrible healing issue with them. And it honestly just went away a few months ago. And I've had these for a few years now, but they just wouldn't heal, and I would keep turning them, and I just weren't finding they were healing the same as my first one. And I would get a lot of dry blood on the back of them all the time when I would change my piercings to different piercings, so I just didn't have a fun time with that. After those piercings, I decided the summer of grade 12, right before prom, I wanted to get my cartilage pierced. And so I have 2 on this side and I have 1 on this side. And let me tell you, these, out of all the piercings I have right now, they are the worst. I love how they look, but I hate them so much. They're still healing. My septum's almost done healing and I got that done a few weeks ago. These are still healing and I got them done months ago. So, but of course, keep in mind, these didn't go in cartilage. This is in my sweet spot exactly. They didn't hit any cartilage. I'll explain that a little more later. And these go through cartilage, so I'm thinking it's just the cartilage. The pain for getting them actually wasn't that bad. I thought it would be a lot worse than these ones, but it wasn't. Actually, they hurt less than my lobe, but the healing process and the infection I went through kind of made them suck. I'll rate it as a 5. So basically what happened was, when I first got these pierced, by the way, I had studs in, I didn't have the rings in. And I started forming little bubbles on my ears. And I was like, what the heck? And it looked like a blister. And in the picture, it's hard to tell. It was literally the same color as my skin. It just looked like a little blister pimple type thing. But in the picture, I had already popped it, so there's a little bit of blood. I'm sorry if that makes you squeamish, but this is about piercing, so you're bound to see some blood in this video. But the little bubble formed, and of course, like, with my issue, I, like, need perfect skin, and pimple or blister or anything pop up, I will pop it and try to get rid of it. And it healed, it formed a scab, and then it kind of fell off, and that was it. I was like, oh, finally, like, oh, so glad it was just like a little bit. And then it came back, and it was on mostly the front, but then it started going to the back of my ear, so I had a giant bump on the back part where the piercing pops out at. And I also had started developing it on my other ear. And I have 2 cartilages on this side and 1 on this side. I like odd numbers, don't even question me. And this side, I popped it and it was gone, and it never came back on that side. So this side, it's been good. This side, I kept popping it, I kept cleaning it. I cleaned it like 4 times a day because I was like, please go away, please go away. And it wasn't that it hurt. It hurt when I touched my ears, or somebody accidentally brushed my hair, touched my ear. It hurt when I brushed my hair, and when I slept, you have to lay on the pillow somehow, and it hurts so much. And it still hurts when I sleep, and when somebody touches my head by accident. And as long as I continually clean them, they haven't popped back up again. But the bumps went from being like little blisters. When I popped them, they were just blood inside, to being pussy. So I'd pop them and it'd be just blood on the inside of it. After I popped it, it wasn't just a scab anymore. It would start to bubble up and come back with a scab, and so I would have to pop it, and that's when the pus came out. So not only was I getting keloid scars, which is what the bump is, it's a scar that's forming in a bubble form, and I'm keloid. I get keloid scars everywhere on me. So like, this wasn't new for me. I just didn't know that piercings did that, because I never experienced that with these ones. Next, my septum. I got this pierced a few weeks ago, and I made a video about it already, kind of my mom kind of kicking me out of home. If you're watching this, just a little update on that. She still wants me to pay for everything, but I think I'm gonna be allowed to stay home without any troubles. But just because I'm so unsure of the situation, I'm just gonna probably move out as soon as possible and get a place of my own with my friends and my boyfriend. And yeah, that's a quick little update. But I'm able to flip it up. Oh, 1 second. There we go. And I wasn't able to do that when I first got it pierced, because the piercing was too, is narrow the word? It was too close together, the little balls. So I had to take a plier and stretch it so it can go, so I can make it by this part. Because it wasn't letting me do that, and I was freaking out because I was like, I gotta get it up there because there's certain people that don't want to see it. And it's been healing really well. I do get crusties on it, just kind of like with these ones, but these crusties are a lot bigger because it's in my nose, and it's a freshly pierced kind of piercing. It's still healing. I haven't gotten any pus with it. When I got it pierced too, I was shocked, because when you look up septum piercing videos, the people that get them get really teary-eyed, and it looks like they're crying because it's so close to your eyes that your eyes water when you get it pierced. But when I got it done, my eyes literally almost didn't water at all. Like, it felt like I did a little sneeze. You know when you sneeze, your eyes get kind of watery? It just felt like I sneezed or something. Like, there was no water running down, and I was like waiting for it to happen. I was like, oh, that's it? Yeah, okay. So that didn't hurt at all. This septum piercing hurt less than my cartilage. This one didn't really hurt, so I think I'm gonna rate this one a 5. Yeah. Not one of the painful piercings. But they also were able to hit my sweet spot. If you take your fingers, if you don't have a piercing, septum, and you push your fingers in your nose, and you feel around a little bit, you're gonna feel like a hard part, and then a soft part that it feels like just normal skin. And then you're gonna feel another hard part. And that soft part in the middle, that's your soft spot. That's where you have normal skin, no cartilage, and that is where you're gonna want a piercer to pierce you. But if some people want it pierced higher up so that it doesn't hang as low, and honestly, mine does hang a little low, but it's okay. I mean, it's on my soft spot. I wouldn't want it in my cartilage because then I might have the same problem I've had with these guys, and that would be so terrible. So I didn't get a kit to clean any of my piercings. They asked if I wanted one for this, and I just said no, because when I use the kits, they don't clean properly, and that's when I get the infections. These cartilage ones are the only ones I used a kit for when I first got them, and they got so infected. And so I'm just gonna stick to rubbing alcohol. That's what I've been using for this little guy, and he's been healing just perfectly. I am so surprised that it's already pretty much healed. There's a few little crusties still, but yeah, for the most part, it's doing pretty good. Yeah, this is the end of the video. Goodbye, guys.